Gamers of Reddit, what is your "this dude forgot to turn off his mic" moment? Back in the Halo 2 days, a teen was getting yelled at to get off the game. He called his mom a bitch and she responded with an ass whooping that sounded like a hyena getting mauled by 50 cats in a plywood box. The teen's kid brother got on during the beatdown saying, "Hell yeah, he never lets me play." Little man was actually pretty good from what I remembered too. Wasn't really a "this dude forgot to turn off his mic" moment, but rather he was trying to play it off as if it was. I was playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare when one of my teammates dies and is left to spectate me. After a while, he says he has to leave and then proceeds to moan loudly. At first, I thought he was jacking off until he leaned into the mic and in the worst girl voice you can imagine, said, "Can't believe guy's name has a 7-inch penis." I just laughed uncontrollably and he responded with, "Sorry man, was having sex." Basically this guy during my game was saying we needed to finish it quick. His girlfriend was coming over. This was during a ranked game, so the guy didn't want to leave. It ended up being a pretty hard match. It was Dota, so it ended up being 120 minutes long. He started to flame everyone on mic because his girlfriend was almost here and we needed to end the match. Then we hear him apologize to his girlfriend because he can't leave, and then she says it's alright. She wants to see how focused he can stay. Thank God for the ability to mute people, otherwise we would have heard him getting his dick sucked for 20 minutes. He didn't stay focused on the game and we lost. Years ago, Halo 3, my cat was being unusually affectionate and cuddly. I liked a guy in multiplayer and was distracted by the cat. I start asking who has a fuzzy belly, who is my fuzzy girl, and it turned out the guy I killed could still hear my voice and he was having none of it. I wish I still has the XBL message he sent. He seemed really insecure about his fuzzy belly. I was that dude once. Nothing scandalous, just embarrassing. You know how sometimes couples will be all sugary sweet, love-a-dove to each other when they're alone, in a way that they'd probably not do in front of other people, because it's so cringy. Don't pretend you don't know what I'm talking about, people in relationships. Anyway, I had my headset on and was being a typical idiot with my friends. My then partner was nearby, so I took off the headset, forgot to mute the mic, and commenced the instant transformation into this over-the-top cute-as-y lover kitten. You can imagine how much I wanted to crawl under a rock and die a few minutes later. That was like 12 years ago. I was extra careful about the mic from then on. I wasn't playing or watching the live stream, but during an iRacing event, NASCAR driver Kyle Larson did not realize his mic was on for the entire group, and therefore was being broadcasted via Twitch. Said, "Can anybody hear me? Hey N-word." Very next day he lost his real-life NASCAR sponsors and his real-life ride. Older sister was telling his little brother, our teammate, that is her time to play, and she will turn off the console if he doesn't get up. He insists just this one match. Please. No. Disconnected. Lol. So basically me and 3 other dudes on Discord. One was living with his parents and grandparents. His grandpa barges into his room and after mumbling something he yelled, "Pull down your pants." Dude was just wearing some dirty pants, but we fully misunderstood the situation. Just today I was playing Modern Warfare and this guy on my team had his mic open. His phone rang in the background and he picked up to his wife talking about how he needs to get off his ass and go to the store. He led with profanities and ended with a "fine bitch" and went back to playing. I said into game chat, "So are you gonna go to the store?" Unfazed he said no. Okay, so this one was actually on me. I first got COD 3 for PS4 a while back. Like I was a serious squeaker. So eventually I joined my first online match and was getting whooped. I kid you not, my mom was making tater tots that night and proceeded to yell loud enough for my dinky little earbud mic to pick up, "Oh, in your tater tots already." Not my proudest moment, but I still laugh at it. I have 2 stories. I've been waiting for this thread forever. First story, I was playing Black Desert Online with a group of my friends. 2 of those friends are married. We'll call them Barbie and Barbie. Barbie goes to the kitchen to make food while muting her mic. Meanwhile, Barbie tells us, "Be right back guys," and runs off to the kitchen. As we just finished grinding, I parked my horse in Velia and we all started hearing moans coming from B's end of the mic. Turns out, Arby and Barbie were having sex in the kitchen and Arby's headset unmuted his Discord somehow. When Arby got back, we were all trying so hard not to laugh, and Barbie comes back like, "Babe, did you fucking forget to mute your mic?" They immediately left the call, and we burst out laughing. They didn't join back for 3 days. Second story. My friend from school, who we'll call G, has a little bit of a temper problem and rages like every other game. One day, as we are playing League with the boys, G's girlfriend comes into his room and we immediately hear top tier rape coming from the other end like, "Shut the fuck up you cunt, all you do is spend my goddamn money, I'm so sick and tired of this shit, you stupid insert the n word, hard r asterisk, you know him broke right." You could hear his girlfriend crying from the other end of the mic, and the next thing he says is, "Sorry guys, what did I miss?" The saddest part of this story is that G and his girlfriend still together. I've played a game with a guy whose kids were playing in the background. He kept telling them to relax, keep it down, and whatever more and more aggressively. At some point, it all just goes off, and you could just hear how he slapped the shit out of at least one of the kids. Kids crying and screaming, tumbling sounds, dude yelling off the top of his lungs, skin getting slapped. Everything in game just stopped, and the rest of the team were just in shock. My friend says let's back out, and we do. I wanted to hurt this man so bad. I was playing a game of Fortnite with my brother and my friend. We ended up in a squad game with some guy, and every few minutes you would hear his girl or something yelling from across the room, "Eat your fucking tacos." He would usually yell back with, "Heat them up for me or I know." Eventually she got pissed, and she walked in and said, "You tryna play that game, Joshua?" She then proceeds to knock him onto the floor, and the rest of us are tortured by the sound of this man moaning and her sucking him off, saying, "Next, I'ma pop a titty in your mouth, and I hope you lose this game." Then my friend just cracks up and says, "Hey, you sound like you got a big mouth. Got room for another dick?" We then hear them be surprised, and the guy leave the game. Funniest 10 minutes of my life. I was playing Rainbow Six Vegas a whole while back. Got myself a few friends in, and also had a couple of stragglers. We were pretty decent as team. We'd not lost for a few days, although playtime had only been a few hours due to work. Anyway, these stragglers who joined got added to our chat. Talked strategy with them, they seemed alright. 2 brothers from Georgia. We start playing, and we are abseiling down the roof, running through casinos, and everything is going well. Our squad are racking up kills, but one of the stragglers keeps dying. His brother is complaining. Guy who keeps dying grabs the briefcase and runs. We are calling to get him to come to the lift shafts, but he ignored us, runs straight to the windows, and gets taken out. Drops the case in a room packed with enemies. We can't get it in time, we lose. The useful brother starts complaining and muttering under his breath, then talks louder, like we couldn't hear him before, and says sorry about his brother's mistake. We'll win now. We switch to defense. The useless brother runs straight out of the vault, despite telling him to wait at the back stairs, goes and gets killed. His brother is mumbling again, clearly agitated. Now, the useful brother is defending the case. Anyone who gets past the 3 main defense points, he is picking them off and doing great. Case never leaves the site. Despite the back stairs not being covered, useless brother sees someone in the case room. Decides to throw a flashbang. We all get blinded. Look around. Case is gone. As we are going chasing after it, the useless bro apologizes. His brother says whatever, and in his mumble voice he seemingly thinks no one can hear says, "This is the exact crap that made me shit in your gym bag." The character of the useless bro stops dead in front of me as we are chasing the enemy. Then there's a loud noise on the other brother's mic, followed by what sounded like the biggest bitch slap, open palm strike whatever I've ever heard. Useful brother's character suddenly stops too. Me and my squad are laughing, wondering what's going on, as we lose the game, and on the mix we can just hear one of the brothers crying, and then a mom shouting in the distance. I was playing with like a 12-year-old kid in a competitive match, and it was close to Valentine's Day, and this kid's brother walks, starts yelling at him to make a card for his mom, and the kid says no and starts telling us he's annoying, and then his brother got mad. The kid left the game and we lost. Back when Fortnite was popular and everyone was playing it, me and my best guy friend played it all the time. It was when they just released playground mode. We decided to try it. I was the lobby leader and forgot to turn off the autofill option to fill the other 2 gaps. We joined and 2 people were there. One was yelling at the other to shut the fuck up because apparently the other was jacking off. Before me and my guy friend left, we heard him moan a good few times. I don't have any as weird as the ones here, but I definitely recall one time getting ready to pull a raid boss in WoW and hearing one kid's mother yell at him to take out the trash. The kid was 16 or something, and all 24 of us were like, nope, not pulling yet, go take out the trash for your mom. I also have a friend who used to fall asleep on Discord after taking Ambien, and some of those conversations were hilarious, but I'm pretty sure he knows where I live and will kill me if I share them on Reddit. I was raiding Blackrock Foundry in World of Warcraft. We pull a boss, and one of our hunters is standing there doing nothing. She dies and her mic comes on. All we hear is super loud moaning and gasping. She's quickly removed from the server and we down the boss. About 10 minutes later she rejoins the server and goes, sorry, my boyfriend decided to fuck me right before we pulled. Our guild master kicked her on the spot. Apparently this was not the first time it happened. Wolf Kitty, if you're still out there, thank you for this story. Not exactly what the question was, but my friends and I were in a voice chat on our Discord server, and our other friend was in the AFK channel with the music bot playing thunderstorm videos. We joined that channel and started making thunder noises with our mouths. He didn't say anything, and we figured out he'd use the videos to go to sleep. He says going on the Yata bat will drain his battery because his screen won't turn off unless he buys premium, which obviously nobody does. So my friend changed the bot to play 3 hours of Big and Chunky, and then we left. The next morning I got blamed because the guy who did it deleted it from the audit log. This will probably get buried at this point, but whatever. Back when LoL was at its all-time high in popularity, I was hanging out with a bunch of guys who I rollerplayed with. I never really enjoyed competitive online games though, and ended up being pretty much ignored for most of the day whilst they played. I tended to enjoy RPGs and mystery or puzzle games way more. Typically single player experiences. Well, finally we found an, admittedly terrible, MMO that was vaguely related to our shared role-playing interest. Whilst the game was admittedly awful, we used it to make characters and stories, and had a good time with it, and I finally had something to play with the gang. Well, I was playing with one guy from the group at one point, and he had to BRB for a moment. He forgot to mute his mic, and as he was walking away, I hear him say, "Crystal clear dude, why does me only like terrible games?" I assumed to his roommate. Man, that hurt. Thought that shit only happened in angsty teen fanfiction. Gave me kind of a complex for a while. In retrospect, this guy was pretty much just playing LOL 24/7, so maybe I should have taken that with a grain of salt. Was playing on XGO server. This squeaker comes in the server acting all tough, trash talking, mocking other people, etc. Now it's about 11 at night now, and we hear this kid saying, "But mommy, I don't wanna go to sleep, I wanna play II." We all started laughing our asses off and he disconnected. Not gaming, but I was doing AV for a conference once, and the meeting planner insisted we hire her teenaged son to operate the audio console. Wasn't happy about it, but her and the owner were friends, so it happened. It was a pretty simple program, so I kept my eye on him. Kid is pretty sure of himself, talks big, doesn't want my supervision. Keynote speaker wants lapel mic, so he comes to FO before the show starts to get mic'd up. As is my practice, I ensure the mic transmitter is power locked, so the speaker can't turn it off, and then I ensure the channel strip is muted. Show starts, there are a few speeches, etc, then the keynote speaker gets introduced, goes on stage, does his presentation, sounds good, audio guy rides the faders, and does an okay job. I usually handle the post-production of any recordings for events that I produce, but in this case audio guy fancies himself a video editor too, so we give him the program MP4 right after the show, and it is a wrap. I did watch the first few minutes, and it looked and sounded good. A week later I'm on the conference website to see the complete video. I start the playback, and it is okay. I scrub the playback head down the timeline a few times. Sounds fine during the speeches. Just about to close the webpage when I hear the keynote very clearly say "fucking amateurs." I scrub back a bit, and I can clearly hear the guy talking, while there was a speech on stage, and he is complaining about everything, say it is Bush League, amateur hour, and bragging to someone he had charged triple his usual rate. Audio Kid had flagged the lab channel to the records, then obviously not listened to the whole video when he posted it. I said and heard nothing about it until a month later, when the audio guy called me saying the keynote speaker was threatening to sue them for posting that. Everyone was mad. Everyone wanted to blame me. Everyone realized it was their own fault. It's not really a this dude forgot to mute his mic, it's more of he didn't want us to hear it. Me and my friends were playing, then my friend told us to hold on for a secretary, then I heard him close the door and heard her sister, I believe, yelling at him. The conversation went like, why don't you be useful for once and help me clean? I always do everything in this house. Then heard the door open, then closed, then muted his mic, typing hairs, very depressed and sad in the show text. I told him what was wrong and he responded me with, my sister always beats me and screams at me. My mom won't believe me. I just want to have a normal sister. I heard her sister banging on the door, heard my friend took his mic off and screamed at her sister to leave him alone. I still feel bad for him till this day.